council meeting for Tuesday, November 16, 2021. Your Honorable Mayor Bob Odenkirk presiding. To start the meeting, we will have Pastor Larry Tyler of Second Baptist Church at 156 South Joliet Street deliver the convocation and the prayer. And then Pastor Larry, you will lead us in the pledge as well. Thank you.
Let us stand. Let us pray. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this privilege to pause and to invite you into these proceedings. We thank you for this city council. We thank you for all the stakeholders. We thank you for the constituency of this city. Thank you for all the care and concern that is here and present. And dear Lord, we even pause. We ask your prayers on the injured policeman in the line of duty today. We thank you that it was no worse. And we pray for your mending and healing and full restoration in the name of Jesus. Now, Lord, please be a guidance, be a comfort. Please, Lord, give us grace and mercy to overcome all the challenges that face the city for the good of all, pleasing in your sight. We ask this in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And everyone said, Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, sir.
Over handshake.
Begin with roll call. Mayor Odenkirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudron.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a presentation, CMAP Award presentation to Allison Switzer. Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Odenkirk, for inviting me here tonight to celebrate our Regional Visionary Award that we have here. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk, City Council members, and City Manager Caporelli and City staff as well. Really excited to be here. I'm the Executive Director of the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, otherwise known as CMAP. Also with me tonight is my colleague, Tom Murtha, who is my staff photographer, but that's not what he does. He really focuses on break for us on a daily basis here. I'm really pleased to celebrate Director Allison Switzer, who is nominated as our first agency's Regional Visionary Award winner here. And so as regional planners, we work with communities across the region to collaborate and coordinate and improve the lives of our residents. And we knew one of the good ways for us to be able to highlight the good work that you all are doing across the region is to have a regional awards program. So this was our first State of the Region event. We celebrated a number of communities and community leaders across our region for some of the innovative work that they're doing to improve the lives of people. You know, the stories behind each individual really show how important it is and how our communities really make this region a vibrant place to live, work, and do business, and that there are people tackling the challenges that are so important to us and to the people of our region here. So we seek to honor public servants for their work, to lead with excellence, foster collaboration, and drive innovation. So Director Switzer really exemplified these standards with her leadership in Joliet's ongoing work to secure Lake Michigan water for the city's water supply. You know, the path, as you all know, is complex to get there, and it's probably one of the most complex projects the city could undertake here. So, you know, I think based on the application, the applicant or the nominator said that Director Switzer's leadership inspired neighbors and the community residents here to really bring this vision to action here. So working together with more than a dozen communities that are a part of this group, we'll be able to make more informed decisions about water supplies and alternatives going forward. So Director Switzer's work to launch Rethink Joliet Water to explore these different source alternatives and promote water conservation and provide that regional solution is just so appreciated here. So we really just wanted to be here to celebrate with you all and your director on behalf of her leadership here, on behalf of the city of Joliet, and on behalf of the region. We wanted to celebrate her and you all and congratulate her. Thank you for the time on the agenda, really appreciate it.
Thank you, CMAP. That's a real nice honor. Thank you. Congratulations, Allison.
Allison,
Mayor,
congratulations.
what, you said this is the first award to be given out?
Yes, this is our first Regional Visionary Award, so.
Girls rule.
I was just gonna say, it's really only with the vision and support of all of you that we're able to move forward with this project. From day one, everyone on the council has said that this needed to be a regional solution to a regional problem. And so with your support and with the support of all the other elected officials in the region, we're moving forward with doing that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Citizens to be heard on agenda items. First is Kathy Spieler regarding Council Memo 539-21.
Good evening, Kathy Spieler, Reedwood Neighborhood Association. So for the last few weeks, we've been busy making signs, rallying support, and bothering some of our council people, mayor and city staff. What I came here tonight to say was 50 feet is too close to our kids. And from hearing last night's council meeting, pre-council meeting, it looks like council people Jan and Joe made sure to bring it up that this would not happen. Thank you very much, you guys. I much appreciate it. Everyone does. So now we need the entire council on board with all of you speaking about tonight. So I want to let everyone know that Mary Beth, myself, and our sons got out the measuring tape and went over to local businesses and did some measuring. That 50-foot ordinance could have included places like the old Bob Martin Auto Sales, which is now vacant, but borders Kappa, St. Pat's, and Reedwood. If you went out and surveyed these spots in person as we did, you would fully understand just why we were all concerned. 100 feet is much better, but this will have to be a case-by-case effort, as there is still going to be pot store owners that will come to this council, and they in fact are going to want you to okay pot stores that attach to our neighborhoods, and we're going to object to them. In January, there will be another 322 pot stores okayed in the state of Illinois. And I have no doubt, as the third largest city in the state, they will in fact be knocking on Joliet's door. The question is, how many and how close will you allow them to our children, homes, schools, and daycares? We have over 25 liquor stores in the Jefferson Street area, so if anyone thinks we could not possibly have a similar amount of pot stores, you'd be wrong. And we are expecting you all to continue taking feedback from Joliet residents and voting accordingly to prevent having 25 pot stores within our little area. The 50 feet was a huge awakening to me as to how an ordinance put in place at 250 feet to protect residents could easily be overturned in the blink of an eye or one meeting. So we are now alert, and we will be watching and responding accordingly. That being said, I will say very positively that throughout this ordeal the last few weeks, both Mr. Caparelli and Mr. Conley have been very accessible and accommodating to me after the issue arose. And that's how it's supposed to be. The city working with the residents and vice versa, residents working with the city. So most importantly, we have a safe and good place to live. So I thank you for the change in the footage, and much appreciate everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bernadine Spieler?
I had to bring Mom with tonight. I had to bring the big guns just in case this didn't go well, so.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bernie Spieler, former president of the St. Pat's Neighborhood Association. I live at 7 Caesar Street, Joliet, Illinois. And I'm here tonight to agree with my daughter with everything she has said. I couldn't say any more than that, other than I do have a little bit of laryngitis, but I am happy to be here. And I want to thank all of you for all you do for our city. You help us all the time. And now that you're going along with us with this, we're very happy with that, because we know there will be more pot stores, because it's already started on Jefferson Street. Except we don't want them near the kids, by the schools. So whatever Kathy said is very true. She did her homework. She did a good job. So I thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mary Beth Hannon.
Hi, Mary Beth Hannon, Western Avenue, Joliet. I really appreciate everyone, those of you brought up changing it potentially to 100 feet, but I'd ask you tonight to perhaps table or until everyone's on board with that, or even more than 100 feet. I did some homework looking into surrounding suburbs, and I know we're talking about residential, but buffer zones, when you look at Shorewood, and I looked at their ordinance, 10-3-34, section B, letter 3A, it's a 500-foot ordinance, nursery, preschool, primary, secondary, churches, parks, and they're measuring property line to property line. And that is how some of these marijuana stores are skirting the issue. They are not measuring property line to property line. They might measure from the back of a building to a property line, or the front of the building just to the back of the building. And they're getting around the buffer zones you give you instead of going property line to property line. Joliet needs to strengthen its buffer language. I feel very strongly about that. Make sure it's saying property line to property line. When you look at Aurora, letter P, section 4, the facilities shall not be located within 750 feet property line to property line of grade schools, middle schools, high schools. Elgin, similar language, also including colleges, universities, parks, forest preserves. Peoria, Division 2, Section 19-660, 500 feet, churches, universities, colleges. So I would just ask tonight that, if you don't really have someone ready to take these spots, table it. Keep up this language, because like Kathy said, these places are coming, they're gonna wanna come to Joliet. We don't want them east of Larkin and Jefferson. It's all residential there, and we feel very strongly about that. You've got the children walking from Dirksen, St. Paul the Apostle, where my children go, Joliet West. We have Pershing over there, and it doesn't take a lot to figure out that these kids can walk in the back of a parking lot of one of these places and wait for someone who bought it legally, and then they can go buy it from them. And another argument I keep hearing is, well, people can just go buy it illegally. They don't have to go to these pot stores. Baloney, that they can buy it legally and not worry about prosecution. They can go sell it on the secondary market to kids who have been breaking into cars and stealing things to get money, or maybe taking money out of mom and dad's wallet or purse. We've seen a huge rash of crime, at least in my neighborhood in Cathedral area. A month ago, I had a couple of kids who were breaking into my car on Western as I was getting my oldest ready to take him to the bus for Bennett Academy. And, what are they breaking into cars for? They're looking for things to sell, to buy drugs. We need to strengthen our language. I appreciate you coming up a little bit on this, but I think we need to go a little bit further and follow our neighbors in Shorewood, follow our neighbors in Aurora and Elgin, also folks a little further away in Peoria and Bloomington. You look at Naperville, they don't want these places. I know we need money, but, I think having one by the mall is better, or maybe putting, like we have currently, or maybe putting one by the Joliet Airport. We have that empty gas station there. That's not near anyone's house. That's not near anyone's school. I think there are better places than along Jefferson and definitely along Larkin. We need to clean these areas up, not make them worse. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item?
I do, and I want to talk about the, I know you guys are tabling it today, but the Redwood apartment complex that's supposed to come, they want to come into Joliet. They came out and had their little sales pitch for the residents of Lakewood Prairie. About a month ago, a couple of council people showed up for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. The people that showed up, you could tell that we weren't buying their sales pitch. They were trying to use words that we wanted to hear as far as targeting senior citizens, empty nesters. Empty nesters don't want to live right next to a school. That's where this development they want to put. There's enough rental properties for seniors in the area. There's Del Webb in Shorewood. There's the Timbers in Shorewood. There's Caroline Lakes in Caroline, not far away. There's plenty of places where seniors can go. They're not going to go by a school. They don't want to live there. Okay? I think everybody noticed that they were just trying to use words that they wanted us to hear. I got 197 signatures for people in Lakewood Prairie that do not want this. Okay? I got that in a week. So we'll let that stable for 2 months. I got more time. I got petitions going around Kearney Glen. I've got petitions going around the school. That is right there. That is going to get destroyed. Because they're not going to get senior citizens and empty nesters that come to this development. They're going to get people that want to escape what's going on in Joliet schools. So the people that want to get out of there are going to come out to the middle schools, and they're going to destroy that school, just with numbers. The schools for the last 5 to 7 years have been trying to pass referendums to build more schools because they're overcrowded. They've been failing to get the votes to do it. My wife works at that school. It is bursting at the seams as it is. If you get another 100 kids from that subdivision that go to that school, it's going to destroy that school. The kids are going to get lost. All this is going to bring is more people that are going to beat up our school system in our neighborhood. At the meeting, I asked them why they're pushing for this area. After the planning commission told them no, unanimously, we don't want it here. We have other places that you can put it. If you want to work with us, you can work with us. They said no, we're vested here. We are invested in this area. Which kind of is a sign, meaning like they don't care about the neighborhood, they don't care about the community, they're trying to protect their dollar. So if this comes in, that's all they're gonna do is they're gonna build it and they're gonna dump it, and they're not gonna care as long as they're getting their rent checks. Okay, I am requesting that everybody vote no to this. So we're gonna stay on, you guys, I know it's gonna be until January, so I apologize, you're gonna get emails quite often, okay? Just some things I want you to consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Christina Driscoll. I'm a resident of Lakewood Prairie Subdivision. I've been there for 15 years. I am going to piggyback off of what Chuck just said about these Redwood apartments. Nobody in my neighborhood wants them. Currently, I'm campaigning to be on our HOA board, and I've been going door to door for the last week to get proxy votes, and I haven't come across a single member of our neighborhood who is for this. In fact, there's, contrary to this letter that was sent by the HOA back in May, it does not reflect what the neighborhood wants. So I would like you to consider voting no for that. Like Chuck said, you're going to be getting lots of emails and letters from us. I did not invest 15 years in that neighborhood and put all the money into my home to have an apartment complex in the middle of my subdivision. So I thank you for allowing us to speak, and I really hope you vote no on this.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
My name's Gary Jones. I live in that Lakewood Prairie subdivision. I think my house is one of the first ones to go up in the neighborhood. I can sit in my garage and I can go to sleep, leave my garage open. I can run down to the store, pick up something, leave my garage open, come back. Don't have to worry about anything. When these apartments go up, I don't know if I'll be able to say that. all you guys are elected by the Joliet residents. You know, that's something that I think you guys really need to take serious. One of these days, I'm hoping that I can sit up there and represent one of the districts in the area. But these two that just spoke before me, I don't know either one of them. But my feelings are pretty much the same as what they're talking about. I mean, some of you guys I know, some of you guys have helped me. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to vote. We all have our own opinions, but I really don't want to see any apartments go up in that division. I've invested a lot of money in my home, moved my family out there to get a better way of lifestyle and living. So I'm asking that you guys take this serious, and whichever way you guys go, you know, I'm not gonna get upset, but hopefully I don't have to put my home up for sale.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to council committee reports. First is the finance committee report.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met here at 5:30. On the committee is Councilwoman Sherry Reardon, Councilman Cesar Guerrero, and myself. We had a number of items. One that we had voted to move on to the full city council next month, and that was to continue the contract with Heritage Corridor. We've been with that contract now for 5 years. We're voting in favor to move it on for another 5 years, starting at about $55,000 with a 2% escalation clause, moving it up in the 5 years to $59,000. The 2% increase clause is in their current contract. It was also announced that we, the city of Joliet, if we, the council, vote on it, we'll get the baseball tournament, state baseball tournament back in a 2-day event with classes 3A and 4A as part of the tournament. They also spoke at some length about the improved website that we have, that visitjoliet.com has been changed, up and running now for about 4 months, with quite a few added ads and opportunities for anybody that would come visit the city. They should get a chance to take a look at it, and it's listing many of the businesses and entertainment opportunities here. On the finance end, we are still trending well above any of our estimates on monies coming in. Probably the largest increase is the charges for services, which is the ambulance charge. We're at about $8 million, as well as the replacement tax that's up approximately 136%. Up from in our budget is the gaming tax, where it's up about 25%, but we only budgeted at 50% of where it was before. It still appears that many people are concerned with going into the casino still at this time. Personnel summary is there's dispatchers being tested today. It looks to be that 3 or 4 will be added by the end of this year. Travel expenses are very light, and invoices paid report has nothing to report that's unusual. And Cesar or Sherry, anything to add?
No, that's good.
That's my report.
Thank you.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Yes, the Land Use and Legislative Committee, myself along with Councilman Clement and Councilwoman Quillman. We met Monday, November the 8th here in the council chamber. Also in attendance was the mayor, as well as the city manager stopped by shortly, and our legal department was there. We had the one agenda item again, the police department citizens advisory board, and we tabled that to sometime in January. There will be a meeting prior to that with the stakeholders. There was stakeholders that was not in attendance at our meeting last Monday, and it was asked that they be a part of the discussion. So I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, committee, the police department administration will be conducting that meeting, or at least getting it together, the date and time. Is that about right?
That's correct.
So if any stakeholders, because it seems like every meeting we get a new stakeholder, and then, so we want to try to get all the stakeholders together at one time. So contact the police department administration and find out, when that meeting will take place, and we'll be back in January after the new year. I think it was said we'll start the new year off right. Somebody said that to me. So that's it.
You said it.
Did I say it? Oh, okay. I said it. Thank you, Mayor.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service Committee met yesterday at 4:30 in the afternoon here in the council chambers. On the committee and present at the meeting was Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Morris, and myself. Relatively short agenda. One thing we did do is we did iron out a cost-sharing overhead sewer and backflow prevention program. This is predominantly to address things in the older sections of town that have problems with sewer separation and surcharging. So if in fact it is caused by the city's system or maintenance, everybody can get a 50% reimbursement for getting overhead sewers installed, overhead sewer system installed in their house in their basement. And then we have a sliding scale based on HUD's definition of low income. Low income can apply for an additional 25%, so have 75%. Our hopes is to see people utilize this, and, reduce the damage that does occur in heavy rains. 2 contracts, we only had 2 contracts, both have to do with city properties. We looked at a maintenance contract for 2022 to 2026 for all HVAC of all 27 buildings owned by the city. And we did recommend approval to Anchorman Mechanical Incorporated, the low bidder, at $648,832. And we also looked at a contract for elevator maintenance for the city's elevators. I think we have 7, or is it 11? I can't remember, elevators in city buildings. And again, that contract would run from 2022 to 2026. And we recommended that council award it to American Hoist and Manlift Incorporated in the amount of $108,426. We had 3 change orders, pay estimate, and final payments that we did go through and found them to be in order. And we also have recommended that there would be an ordinance amending the 2021 annual budget for the city of Joliet and award a contract for the 2021-2022 hazardous tree removal, trimming and removal contract to Arbortech Services as a low bidder at $199,612.44. Some time back, we looked at bids and contracts, and I think we were closer to $300,000, and the committee decided, as did staff, to rebid it. So we did save quite a bit of money, and we do need to have the hazardous tree removal program continue. Then we had an alternative water source presentation by Allison, Switzer, the director, who was honored here tonight. You can see all the Rethink Water videos, as well as the presentations that she makes, Allison makes at our committee meeting. They're all on the city website, so you can view them in their entirety, the PowerPoints. Yesterday's was basically the long and the short of it. Of the 11 communities that were originally expressed interest in forming the commission, 10, even as we speak, are presenting that to their respective city councils and village boards. And our good neighbors to the north, Crest Hill, the mayor released a video, Mayor Ray Solomon, saying that they, as a community, are basically coming on board and see that as the only option to join our commission. And of course, the economy of scales is gonna benefit not only the city of Joliet, but all the members. Now, the final yes has to be, the commitment has to be made by the end of January. They all look to be moving in that direction, and that's pretty exciting to have that many people. You know, we talked about starting out with 5 or 6. We're looking at 10 or 11 total on the commission, and we'll be adding more down the road because this program, this system that's being designed is really, as CMAP's representative pointed out tonight, is really a large-scale regional solution for Joliet and all of our neighbors and friends in the area. I think, did I forget anything, Terry, or?
No, I think you covered it all.
You covered it all?
Councilman.
Well, in that case, Mayor, that will be my committee report.
Thank you.
Sure.
I show no other reports. Moving on to consent agenda versus the approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on November 1st and the minutes of the council meeting held on November 2nd, 2021 stand approved as recorded. Council Memo 516-21 position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 2 police patrol officer positions and 1 Axon system administrator position and any subsequent vacancies which may occur. Council Memo 517-21 award of contract for body worn camera program. Council Memo 518-21 award of contract for emergency repairs to the 11D number 2 booster pump to Great Lakes Water Resources Group in the amount of $49,995. Council Memo 519-21, award of contract for HVAC maintenance 2022 to 2026 to Anchor Mechanical in the amount of $648,832. Council Memo 520-21, award of contract for elevator maintenance 2022 through 2026 to American Hoist and Manlift in the amount of $108,426. Council Memo 521-21, purchase of 88 SCBA air packs, 176 SCBA air bottles, and 114 SCBA masks for municipal emergency services. Council Memo 522-21, Amendment Number 1 to the professional services contract for unarmed security services for the Joliet Gateway Transportation Center to Allied Universal Security Systems in the amount of $198,673.31. Council Memo 523-21, Amendment Number 1 to the professional services agreement for the Alternative Water Source Program Financial Planning Rate Services Project to Burns and McDonnell Engineering in the amount of $11,750. Council Memo 524-21, Amendment Number 2 for the 2020 Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Program Professional Services Agreement to RJN Group in the amount of $115,000. Council Memo 525-21, Amendment Number 2 to the Andres Medical Contract for CMS Medicare Ground Data Collection. Council Memo 526-21, Change Order Number 3 for the Charity Avenue, Noel Avenue, Retta Court Roadway Project to PT Farrow Construction in the amount of negative $8,610.05. And payment estimate number 5 and final in the amount of $15,070.37. Council Memo 527-21, change order number 2 for the 2020 sidewalk curb replacement project to J&J Newell Concrete Contractors in the amount of $12,514.76. And payment estimate number 3 in the amount of $35,873.68. Council Memo 528-21, change order number 1 for time extension on the lead water service line replacement phase 1 to Stipp Brothers Excavating. Recommended Council Memos 517-21 through 528-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved. Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on under public hearings. Council Memo 530-21, an annexation of 0.36 acres at 2809 Wilshire Boulevard This includes a resolution approving an annexation agreement for 2809 Wilshire Boulevard, an ordinance approving the annexation of 0.36 acres at 2809 Wilshire Boulevard, and an ordinance approving the classification of 2809 Wilshire Boulevard to R2, single-family residential zoning. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time.
Would anyone like to speak in this item?
Seeing none, let the record show the public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 530-21, annexation of 0.36 acres at 2809 Wilshire Boulevard?
So moved. Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances is Council Memo 532-21, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow construction of an automobile and truck fueling center located at the northwest corner of Route 53 and Laraway Road. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor? Yes. As I expressed yesterday, I have deep concerns about that intersection not being able to handle an additional gas station, or truck stop to the two that are already there. But maybe it's something down the road that could be looked at if in fact somebody thinks it's a good fit, but not until that intersection is approved. So I would make a motion to deny the special use permit.
I would second that motion.
You beat me to it, Betty.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
It's been motioned and seconded to deny a special use permit for a construction of an automobile and truck fueling center at the northwest corner of Route 53 and Laraway Road. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. The special use permit was denied. Next is Council Memo 533-21, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow the continuation of an existing rental unit above a garage, a 2-unit, in an R2 single-family residential zoning district located at 429 Buell Avenue. It's recommended this item be tabled.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 533-21, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow the continuation of an existing rental unit above a garage in an R2 zoning district located at 429 Buell Avenue. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
How long is the table for?
Based on the council memo, just stated that it recommended be tabled. If you want a specific date, then we could amend that.
I had discussion with them. I believe it's gonna be, for the folks to come back here. They said they'd be back in December. So we're coordinating with them so they can come and talk, Councilwoman.
I'll vote aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 533-21 was tabled. Next is Council Memo 534-21, an ordinance approving the vacation of a portion of 3rd Avenue east of Boulder Avenue. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Motion carried. Council Memo 535-21, an ordinance accepting a temporary construction easement at Lot 2 of Chicago Gravel Company Subdivision for the Hobo Road Interchange Modification and Roadway Reconstruction Project. It's recommended that ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 536-21, ordinances associated with Joliet Logistics Park subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the reapproval of the preliminary plat for Joliet Logistics Park subdivision, an ordinance approving the final plat of Joliet Logistics Park subdivision Phase 2, and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Joliet Logistics Park subdivision Phase 2. I did receive a request this evening by the petitioner to table this to the January 4th council meeting.
I would make a motion to table.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to table item 536-21 to the January 4th council meeting. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 536-21 is tabled to the January 4th council meeting. Next is Council Memo 537-21, an ordinance approving revised preliminary plat of Mound Road Commercial Park subdivision. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
I
Second.
thought I heard.
Thank you, sorry. It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 538-21, an ordinance approving the preliminary planned unit development of Redwood Joliet subdivision. It's recommended this item be tabled to January 4th council meeting.
Motion to table.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 538-21 to the January 4th council meeting. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
You said January 4th?
Correct.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 538-21 is tabled to the January 4th council meeting. Next is Council Memo 539-21. A revised copy was put on the website today as well as on the dais, explaining that the recommendation is no longer 50 feet, but to change it to 100 foot. So it's an ordinance approving an amendment to section 47-151 regarding adult use cannabis of the Joliet zoning ordinance to reduce the residential setback requirements for an adult use cannabis dispensing organization from 250 feet to 100 feet. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor, may I comment? Yes. First, a question, a clarification from the one resident. What is the setbacks on the marijuana? I'm not familiar with it. For schools, for forest preserves, do we have a restricted one, or is it as open as it was?
It's 500? It's 500 for schools. Oh,
Derek.
Yeah, I have it in front of me. It is 500 feet for nursery schools, preschools, primary, secondary schools, daycare centers, and daycare homes.
Not universities and colleges?
Does say here, learning centers and vocational trade centers shall not be classified as public or private schools for this purposes. So no.
All right, so my comment would be, I'll just make as brief as I can comment. If you look at this from a business standpoint, this is not going to bring in new taxes. Marijuana sales is a very focused, it's a destination place. Those that don't have marijuana sales in their own community have either chosen to come to Joliet already or have gone to another community that approved it. We have 2 marijuana stores, even though I think the only one that voted against the retail sales. We did get a store in my district somehow.
No, you were not.
I one of 2 people to vote against it. So we're not going to lose taxes. It's going to cannibalize, and that's not my concern. Let them cannibalize. But I don't see a reason for us to lower it from 250 to make it easier for the pot stores. I think that the residents deserve the same amount of respect with their kids at home as they do at school. So while it's not 500, it's 250. I'm not suggesting that we move it up to 500, but I don't see a reason really to lower the setback from 250 any lower than that. That's disrespectful to the families and to the kids that live at home when they're not at school. That would be my view.
I would agree with that.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 539-21?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 539-21, the revised version, which is an ordinance approving an amendment to section 47-151 regarding adult use cannabis of the Joliet zoning ordinance to reduce the residential setback requirement for an adult use cannabis dispensing organization from 250 feet to 100 feet. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No.
Councilman Morris.
No, I think if anything, we should increase it. I vote no.
Councilman Mudrin.
No.
Councilwoman Quillman.
I will vote no again. And I think our ordinance should be tweaked.
Councilwoman Reardon.
No.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
I vote no.
The vote was 2 ayes and 6 noes. The motion failed. Next is Council Memo 540-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 23, Article 3, Section 23-62, amount of fee of the Joliet Code of Ordinances. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye. We're both
Again.
ayes.
Aye, yes. Okay, that's what I'm sorry.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
I'd like to say, Larry Hug, worked on this. Good idea to bring it down, and Derek, so good job on that. So I vote aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I guess I don't count.
I thought I had skipped one. Councilman Hogg.
Councilman Clement.
Maybe you need a haircut, Larry, it's starting to get long.
You guys remember that
Thank you for
soap?
pointing
Remember
that
Soap,
out.
that comedy? Remember the guy that would be invisible
Yep.
when he snapped his fingers? Councilman Clement is too kind and too classy. It was something we talked at length about at our committee meeting. You, myself, and Councilman Morris, as well as Derek, we did hammer this out. And I think it's gonna be a shot in the arm for the small mom and pop businesses that want to spend up to $50,000, maybe to expand their facilities, restroom facilities, maybe to do a blacktop coating on a 4-space lot and not have to kick in another $3,500 that they can't afford. So thank you for the credit, but I really want to share it because we all worked on it that afternoon. I would vote aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 542-21, a resolution accepting a 2021 Justice Assistance Grant from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
You sure you want me to vote?
Yes.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
I spoke at length yesterday, so I'll stand on those comments for this evening. So, thank you.
New business not for final action or recommendation.
I have nothing, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a suggestion here. Actually, you know, we have the water rates going up, and they're gonna go up regardless of whether we switch the, you know, every community will go up over the next 10, 20, and 30 years. But there is concern for those that may struggle to afford it. You know, we haven't done anything with the money yet, but wouldn't that be a good use of the cannabis taxes that are supposed to be used in that community? You know, the low-income community that's affected by the drugs. Maybe we can use that money to set up assistance on the water bill? Would anybody care to explore that as a council?
I'd like to explore whatever we're gonna do with the cannabis money, so If that is a part of it, count me in.
Well,
Because
I
I'd
probably fill in a
love
little
to
bit of
explore.
blanks, because we don't have the money, we never have. It's part of the taxing, the state, as well as the regular portion that we will receive from the county and the state. There's an additional fee that money is supposed to go back to specific communities. That's being handled by the state of Illinois. To date, they have not transferred money. They've reached out to Will County. I talked to County Executive Bertino last night. They want the county to work in conjunction with the city to try to figure out where the money is supposed to go. So ultimately, we're gonna have some say in this, but it isn't necessarily our money to give away. It's a return on the state portion of the income tax for that, or the sales tax. So, yeah, I think if we could set up a program to help subsidize water rates, I think that would be a really good way to look at it. But this is all brand new. The money's not here yet, so it's something, it's a work in progress still.
Okay. So, Your Honor, if I might, and I just want to say to the residents, you know, we've been having these community forums to talk about the R3 money. And so we need you to come out and we need you to put your voice to the table. And so I believe they had a meeting last night. I believe it was, yeah. So there have been 4 or 5 meetings going on around at the community level. And so I'd love to see a lot more community get involved in that piece to help us plan. The city is engaged into it. And so please, you know, go online. Bonner Group, I'm sorry. They have a website out there. So add your comments in, because this is going to affect us and how we spend these dollars in the area of renewing, reinvesting into our communities. So please, you know, go online, Bonner Group, and add your comments in. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Terry?
No.
Pat? Jim?
Actually, some old business. I contacted Mr. Torrey today about the tire place over at Broadway and Hutchins. Nothing's been done with that since June 15th. He had 180 days to get some things done. Mr. Torrey said he talked to the gentleman. He at first was complaining about our staff giving him a hard time with the inspectors and everything, but minor things had not been done. And then today, Mr. Torrey says to me that he hired an engineer out of Bloomingdale that took his money and did not do the work for him. So now his attorney's supposed to be suing that person, but it's excuse after excuse after excuse. So Torrey, did you find anything out about that today? Did he get back to you?
He did contact a local engineering firm, and they seem to be working together to put together a plan.
So how much long, I mean, he has to come back to us to get this extended. It's been well over the 180 days. According to our.
To do that, we can look into that.
Yeah, I do, because I don't know where he's gonna go with this. I mean, it's been excuse after excuse after excuse. And this has been since June, now it's it'll be December here next time.
Yeah, I understand.
And minor things weren't even done.
Yeah, he's.
So who keeps track of all this?
We try to, but it's a burden on staff to follow up when, you know, there's plans that were approved and not followed through on. So we do our best in doing that, but, you know, we hope that the petitioner in good faith is working with us. So we trust the petitioner, that he's telling us the truth, and that he had a problem with his engineer. They did initially engage our engineering staff, but, you know, like you said, he hasn't done anything yet. We did sit down and meet with him face to face today, and again, we're trusting him that he's telling us the truth, that he had this problem with his existing engineer. So we gave him a recommendation to work with somebody locally, and that local engineer reached out to us and said he has been engaged. So we're hoping that this will on the property.
Well, when you sat down with him, did you ask him why he didn't do like the minor things, like putting up a surround around the garbage can so the people that live like within 50 feet of that don't have to look at that? That was supposed to be done. Sidewalk was supposed to be finished, some landscaping. Nothing was done.
So, again, he's, you know, like people, he's not the only one that has told us this, so again, we're believing him that he's having supply problems with fencing companies, you know, and even getting small projects done. The supply chain issues that a lot of builders and the construction industry is dealing with. So this is what he told us. So again, you know, he also said he hasn't opened up the business as fully as what was approved. There have been a few larger trucks dealt with on site, but mostly he's kept it to his previous approvals and has not expanded that larger business aspect of it yet, you know, because he knows he hasn't done those full improvements yet as was approved to him with the special use permit.
Well, I understand all that, but it's simple. I mean, you don't need a contractor to cover up your garbage cans. You can run to Menards or Home Depot and get some wood and build it yourself. I mean, that's not that big of an area. I understand about the fencing and other products like that, but it just seems that this gentleman is just giving us excuse after excuse. So I'm only on this because I get the phone calls.
I know, and we did explain that to him, that that's the problem, that, you know, right now that, you know, the neighbors are not happy with, you know, his approval and lack of action. So,
Because I know it was very controversial at the time, so. All right, well, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Sherry?
No. Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
My name is Rosemary Green. I live in Joliet on Heritage Drive. And I'm very concerned about the environment and what we're doing to it. And recently there was a report and they said that they had taken airports and then rerouted how planes would taxi in and out. This was saving the airlines a lot of money for gas and not putting all the pollutants in the air. So I thought, what can we do around here? I've noticed that when the fire department goes out on an emergent or an ambulance call, they take a fire truck with them. That costs a lot of gas money and puts a lot of pollution into the air. And I just thought maybe that's something that the board could look into and maybe not do that. And I think Joliet is a great city and I think they're very forward thinking. And maybe we could look at some composting ideas for our area where people could take garden waste and use it so it rebuilds the dirt. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot something really important earlier. Happy birthday to Mayor Bob. His birthday was last night. And I don't know if anyone told him, so happy birthday from all of us.
Thank you.
You do a wonderful job, and we're so grateful to have you as our mayor.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you.
All right, another few little things. Thank you to everyone for the vote. That's wonderful. Certainly more than I could ever have expected. We appreciate it. Then with R3, I did want to attend last night. Unfortunately, I had some medical things to take care of, so I could not. But I'm not real clear on it. I've been asking a lot of people on this to explain, and I'm still not real clear. Maybe somebody can help me. But so last night was the consultant speaking with the areas that were in the purple on the map that were most affected by crime from drug use, pot drug use.
Mm-hmm.
And the state wants to reinvest money back into those areas,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I'm kind of at the, and I hope that goes very well, by the way, but I kind of want to address when and if we ever get the city of Joliet pot tax money, that's my concern, where that money will go.
Yeah, mine
That would be a
too.
little bit different because I would want that money to just stay within our city not to be in Township, Preston Heights, or Preston or anywhere else, but to stay within our city, because we have the stores, so it should stay with us. Also, I know that Reedwood and Kappa were not on that map from the state, and I understand why, because those areas were harder hit with specific crime. But we still have had a lot of things going on, you know, shootings and other things in our neighborhoods. I think if we were going to reinvest with city pot money, I would like for our neighborhoods to be included. And the main thing I would like is an NOPT officer in Reedwood, which we've been working on for a few years here, so hoping we get that. But, okay, that was it. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just gonna echo on what Kathy said about the R3 money. I was flabbergasted when I found out Cathedral area and my neighborhood, and then Kathy's neighborhood, Greenwood, we aren't gonna get any of the state money, and I know it's state, and it's not city, but if there's any way you can talk to some of these state folks, and Kathy and I are doing what we can, but I would find it very upsetting if some of the money from our pot stores is going to townships, Preston Heights, like she said, Presto, where they don't have these stores. And we have a lot of crime in Cathedral area. The gentleman who recently shot the sheriff's deputy down by Mizan, he's 2 blocks from my house. You know, we have constant crime, and I would really hope that none of our state and county people would be playing favorites with the neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in public comments this evening? Next is mayor and council comments.
Joe?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah.
Betty?
Same here. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe one, everybody.
Caesar?
Just wishing well and prayers for the officer who was injured earlier tonight.
Larry?
Joe Nordman was hired early this year as our roadways manager. He replaced Mike Hewlett, who was here a long time. And he's now living through a parent's worst nightmare. Joe's daughter, Josette T. Nordman, passed away November 6, 2021, after a courageous lifelong battle with cystic fibrosis. Please indulge me. I'm going to read the obituary because it's so tough for a parent, for a child to go before their parents. And I think all of us in here who are parents know that. Josette Josie Thea Nordman, age 28, passed away peacefully on November 6, 2021, after a courageous lifelong battle with cystic fibrosis. Courageous is the correct word for these young folks. They've come a long way with cystic fibrosis, but you still die relatively young on average. I know I was younger, I had personal experience with someone with cystic fibrosis. Born June 14th, 1993, to Joseph Nordman and Nicole Nordman. Josie was preceded in death by her paternal grandparents, James Nordman and Vanita Wright, and her maternal step-grandfather, Henry Hines Severing. Survived by her parents, her siblings, Jaron, Darcy, and Logan. Her maternal grandparents, Roberta Bobby Severing and David Block. Her aunts, Jody, Stuart Jackson, Beth, Sean Halfman, and cousins Jacob, Joshua, Oliver, Jackson, and Savannah Halfman. Josie is a 2011 graduate of Homewood Flossmoor High School, where she performed and worked behind the scenes on several theater productions. She went on to attend Northwestern University, studying, producing, and performing live theater. In 2013, at the age of 20, she received a double lung transplant. The newfound ability to breathe freely, which most of us take for granted, allowed her to move forward with her dreams of a normal life, in quotes. After recovering from her transplant surgery, she returned to Northwestern and earned her bachelor's degree in theater. She spent time in London, as well as multiple stays in Prague, studying Shakespeare and performing on stage. She was an avid horse lover and worked as a horse trainer and riding instructor in California. She loved animals. Her dog, Kylo, all things Marvel, especially Loki, and her boyfriend, Hawk. Josie embodied the attitude that she could accomplish anything she set her mind to. After the transplant, she lived with a zest that many of us can only imagine. She was full of spark, life, and above all, determination. Her can-do attitude inspired and impacted those who crossed her path. She will always be remembered for living like every day could be her last. A memorial visitation will take place at 2's Ryan Funeral Home in Homewood on Saturday, November 20th from 1 to 4 p.m. For additional information, contact RyanFuneralHome.com or call 708-798-5300. And with that said, my condolences to Joe, his family, friends of his daughter Josie, and I'm sure I can speak for the council in saying that we extend it in Godspeed. Thank you.
Terry?
Yeah, just wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and safe.
Yep.
I'd like to congratulate St. Joe's Hospital on a ribbon cutting on November 3rd for their new robotic lung machine that will enable them to detect smaller cancer areas in your lung that without this robotic machine were impossible to get to. They're one of the 2 robotic machines in the state of Illinois.
What's their name now?
They did not talk about that.
They keep changing the name.
I don't think it's a meeting anymore.
It's not meet anymore, no, so I didn't know if they said that day as well. So, anyway, I would like to thank everyone to have a very, very, very happy and safe Thanksgiving. If you choose to get a booster shot, they are available. Just be well and stay safe and enjoy your family and hold them close to you.
Sherry?
I echo everyone. Thank you.
A few things. November 10th, there was a meet and greet for Priscilla Cordero. She's the new head or president of the City Center Partnership. It was a nice turnout. I met Miss Cordero a couple times. Very impressed. I think there's going to be good things ahead working with the city and with the City Center Partnership for downtown Joliet. November 11th, there were a couple Veterans Day celebrations here in Joliet that I attended. The first was at the American Legion Hall on Ingalls. They had a great turnout, probably double or triple what it had been the year before. And a real nice presentation put on by Lieutenant Moises Avila from the Joliet Police Department about the Battle Buddy program that our police officers have implemented here in Joliet. And something, Jim, moving forward, I'd like to see maybe presented to the council. I didn't know about this. It certainly was something we didn't do when I was there, but it was a very impressive program. A credit to the police department, so.
Right, I think the fire department also has a similar program. We're trying to get those all together and be able to move forward as a program for suicide prevention or those who are in need of help or want to talk. So it'll be, we're trying to get that to all our city employees.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit different. This wasn't within the department. It was to pair officers who are veterans up with calls for service from the public who are veterans, when appropriate. So again, it's something new and I hadn't heard of, but I was very impressed by it. I do want to, Councilman Jan Quillman was at that American Legion celebration. Later that day, TZAC Funeral Home did their Veterans Day Memorial, which they do every year. It's a very nice celebration. It's more private and specific to service members who had died that previous year. But thank you to the folks at TZAC. There was a ribbon cutting Friday, November 12th in Hamel Woods. The Black Road Bridge over I-55, which is something that was talked about, Larry and Terry, when we were first elected to the city council. It's been many years in the making, but I want to thank the Forest Preserve in Will County and Joe Van Dyne, who is also city employee, for his role in that. It's a pedestrian walkway over I-55 and Black Road, and it's already being well used. Even on that cold, miserable day, there were a number of people out there. And then finally, yesterday, Joliet Catholic Academy honored the women's volleyball team. They finished 4th in state. They brought another trophy back to Joliet. I want to congratulate the coaches, the staff, and the women on the Joliet Catholic volleyball team, and thank them for bringing that honor to Joliet. Also, happy Thanksgiving, the wishes that were shared up here. A brief rundown, there was an incident early tonight at Wendy's. I know the police are going to issue their statements to the media. I was on scene and at the hospital. I did speak with the officers involved. They were conscious and talking. They're being cared for, but they appeared to be in pretty good shape. So thank you to our police department, everybody involved. Very professional job by Chief Brown, Chief Blackburn, who was at the hospital, and to the people at St. Joe's. I think we have an executive session tonight.
Yes. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Total Info Sports.